Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pixel and happy Easter. And this video isn't, well, it's actually not gonna be Easter themed, but I did get a lot of chocolate though, so just throwing it out there. But yeah, this is my review of season 2 of Tales and Friends. Now, disclaimer, I own nothing. Everything belongs to the rightful owners, so please go and support them. So please go and support them and be nice. And also, the second series is a lot gorier and more violent than season 1, so sorry about this. Let me just, there we go. So yeah, viewer discretion is advised, please. So yeah, season 2 starts off where the season finale of season 1 left off. So basically Tails and the others basically got swallowed up by this giant monster, and they basically fell down into the middle of this forest. And basically they look around at first and they then find a house which is loaded with all of the necessities of life, including, basically it has McDonald's. Yeah. Yep. But Tails actually recognizes that this was his house, because, well, in the first season, Shadow basically blew up his house, and yeah, he's still pretty mad about that, but yeah. But nonetheless, they stay there for a little while, but Cream notices something rather off that's outside, so she goes and checks it out, and it turns out that there are zombies, and she does manage to kill it before it can do anything, but she questions Tails why there's a zombie in his backyard. And basically more start showing up, so they hide inside the house. And basically what happens is Tails ends up with, kind of gets in a big situation. He basically, sorry, let me rephrase that. Basically, Rouge actually manages to kill them, but Shadow says that it has something to do with the Chaos Blast that ended up infecting them, and they don't know. Basically, yeah, it had something to do with the Chaos Blast. So, but yeah, they figure out that the zombies are attracted to noise, so they can't make any noise. So Tails actually makes a map, and basically what happened was they're basically in an alternate universe where they're zombies. So yeah, it's kind of like The Walking Dead in a way. But what happens next is rather interesting. Basically, it had something to do with a warp space, I think. Ah, crap, I just saw it and I can't remember. But yeah, it has something to do with the monster that ate them. Basically, and the monster actually plays a part later, but for now, that's a little bit of a secret. So, yeah, and of course, if they're in another dimension, then there's other versions of themselves, which they probably will encounter, and spoiler alert, they do. But, yeah. So, they stay in the house for a while, but it eventually isn't safe to stay at anymore. So, they all take refuge in the forest and yeah, basically they try to make a fire, but Tails has to get mad, so he tells Shadow to make him mad, and Shadow does take it a bit far by mentioning Cosmo, and which really sets off Tails, and I really like how they included Cosmo, or at least mention her in this series, because she's actually one of my favorite Sonic characters, and I might actually do a video on her, as well as some of my Sonic OCs. Yeah, but I promise it's not like any of that. I don't want to talk about it. Anywho, getting back on track, but so yeah, Sonic then goes out to look for food, or anything that can help them, and he actually bumps into Amy, or at least this dimension's version of her. And basically she says that that she has food, and she's also with Knuckles, and basically what happens is Amy takes them back, and she has a map she claims that they have a map for a hideout that can lead them to a warp pipe that can get them all home, and basically also maybe stop the virus that's in this world. But yeah, this is the zombie apocalypse. Nobody is who they say they are, or who they seem to be, because apparently Knuckles and Amy do have food, but when they get there, Knuckles takes Amy aside and talks to her, saying that he didn't know that there were going to be this many people to feed now, so he tells them that they all have to contribute to getting food if they're going to stay. But Knuckles then tells Amy that it's them over anyone, and we find out later why, actually, because so not Rouge, they all have some McDonald's, but Silver, before he can eat any, says that he smells one, and he goes outside to look around, and Sonic goes after him, and we actually get a rather emotional scene between Sonic and Silver. Like, Silver mentioning that gets the feeling that what they're eating isn't McDonald's at all, and that the reason why he didn't tell anyone is because he's scared, and Sonic comforts him, and that whatever happens, they're gonna get through this together, because in the beginning, and also, yeah, each character kind of gets their own little moment in this series to shine. Like, Tails, even though everyone drives him up the wall and drives him crazy like there's no tomorrow, he actually at this point feels like that they're his family. Because, they've saved each other, and they've been through a lot of crap together. So, yeah, it kind of would make sense. But yeah, So Silver, they basically, and also Sonic telling Silver to smile is actually really, really cute. I'm like, aww. Like, I love that moment between them. Like, yeah, they got each other's backs. But Knuckles calls the two of them in and, well, they're plastered. They're basically, they're kind of a little tipsy, to say the least. And basically, Knuckles ends up confirming Silver's fears that they've been eating Mobians. Like, both Amy and Knuckles have been eating Mobians. Basically, yeah, like that one part in The Walking Dead. Yeah, so Silver goes to warn Sonic, who is talking to Amy, and Silver takes out a gun, and everyone else comes out and of course tells Knuckles to stay away from him or he'll pull the trigger. But Knuckles manages to calm Silver down, and of course they all head inside to get some sleep. But Silver, of course, wonders if Sonic doesn't believe him, and of course he says that he does. So, but they still have to convince the others, and also there's another sweet little moment where Sonic gives Silver his little plushy turtle, his little turtle plush. It is so cute. Like, yeah, they truly are a family. And Sonic then confronts Knuckles about this, and he's like, but Knuckles, he kind of points out that we're just trying to survive. Like, we're desperate for food. But Sonic tells him that survivors are not food, and that he's not going to let this happen to his family. And he tells Knuckles that, yeah, that they have been through a lot together. But the next morning, the secret comes out when Knuckles tries to feed Cream, Tails, and Silver. And Tails tells him that the food smells funny, and Cream, she finds an eyeball in her meal. So Silver pins Knuckles down with his psychic powers, but Amy attacks him from behind and knocks him out. So and of course, Shadow and Sonic wake up as well, and they see what's happening, and Silver tells them the truth about what they're eating, and yeah. And Knuckles comes back with a gun, and then Tails demands to know where Rouge is, and it's implied that they turned her into food. Ugh. So Knuckles and Amy then puts them all in the barn, where apparently the two of them have a Chaos Emerald, and basically they levitate Silver, Tail, Shadow, and Sonic up in the air, but since Cream is so little, she doesn't... She's... Basically, Knuckles goes to another side, into another part of the barn and ties her up there, and he just made the biggest mistake of his life. Yep. Because Cream manages to... She thankfully has a knife on her, which she uses to free herself, and Tails tries to appeal to Amy's sympathy by telling her that she doesn't want this, and apparently that's true. Since Knuckles threatened her to do this, to basically, he threatened her to bring them here. And yeah, she then Tails actually offers her the chance to come with them, but she's worried that Knuckles will hurt her. And Tails promised that they're not gonna let him. So, yeah. Knuckles then comes back and they try to figure out what to do with him, but Cream just sneaks up behind Knuckles and basically she just ends him and tells him not to mess with her next time. Saving everyone. But yeah, like, this episode basically teaches you, do not mess with Cream. It will be, like, do not mess with her, like, she will not hesitate. But sadly, the noise causes zombies to come, so Shadow tries to use Chaos Control, but it only manages to teleport them on top of the roof of the barn. But Tails actually gets an idea. Basically, Silver unleashes, after some help from the gang. I am so sorry, excuse me. Silver unleashes this giant, sorry about that, this giant psychic wave, I guess, and yeah, it's fabulous. I will admit, it is fabulous as heck. It's, yeah. Yeah, Silver pretty much saved their tails. So yeah, go Silver. But while it will buy them enough time, more of them are going to come. So Amy then confesses that the map isn't real. And of course Tails is understandably upset about this and decides to not bring her along. But she argues that they fed them, and of course he points out that it was their own kind. Like, sorry, I get as gross and terrible as that is what happens in this series. So basically they manage to teleport out of there, but they leave Amy behind. They do make it to the Lost City, though. Well, actually, no, that's actually what the episode is called. Sorry, my mind's all over the place. So yeah, they make it, but there's still zombies out there, and they decide to split up for a while, but once they all come back together, they realize that this dimension is more advanced than theirs. And Cream actually decides that she's going to go on her own. Because, well, someone needs to, like, well, basically, there is a reason why she decides to do this. Because, well, she's kind of done some messed up stuff. And she figures that she would get away from it, you know? But she does hand Shadow a grenade and tells them not to use it unless it's absolutely necessary that they use it. They promise that, and before Cream leaves, she and Shadow share a hug. And of course everyone else wonder what that was all about, and Shadow confesses that, like, despite him thinking of the others, like, he doesn't think of the others as family, which, denial. He does admit that he does see Cream as a little sister, the same way he did with Maria. So, yeah, they basically make it to this snowy area while Cream is about to... Because at the end of that episode, there is a horde of zombies. And Cream has a baseball bat in her hand. And she is about to whoop them. Yeah, she is about to kill all of them single-handedly. By the looks of it. But yeah. So, the guys Sonic, Silver, Tails, and Shadow make it to this icy area, and Silver tries to convince Tails about the warp pipe, but Tails still doesn't believe that it's real, so he basically tells that they have to keep going. But they actually managed to find a hideout, and surprisingly, they actually find Blaze, who, after she calms down a bit after seeing Silver alive, because she actually thinks that Silver died, and he basically tells her, well, she then tells Tails about the zombies, that something is wrong with them, that basically the zombies are the result of that giant monster that swallowed them and basically dropped them off in this dimension. So the zombies are kind of a result of the monster, since it's revealed that they didn't came from a normal infection. They supposedly had I think it was that they had at least a type, that the monster, maybe the monster wasn't exactly the cause of the zombies, but it probably had to role in play in making them, probably, if I remember correctly. It's probably wrong though. Anywho, but so yeah, basically, if they don't do something to fix this, then more monsters like that one is going to appear, and there's going to be more zombies. So they basically decide to try and kill it, but before that, Sonic and Tails actually stop in this empty building to get supplies. But, oh boy, a zombie jumps on Sonic, and he basically gets bitten by it. And I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Earlier, when they were in the city, Sonic actually found Thespio on the verge of death, and Thespio begged Sonic to kill him, but Sonic was shocked, understandably, that he would request such a thing, but Thespio told him to think of it as setting him free. And Sonic, well, he does. He kills Thespio. And basically, the same thing happens here with Tails. Tails at first tries to find a first aid kit while Silver, Shadow, and Blaze try to fight the monster. But there isn't enough time left for Sonic, seeing that he's probably going to turn, or worse. So Sonic wants Tails to shoot him. And basically he trusts Tails to do this because, you know, they're brothers, like. And he tells Tails the same words that Thespio told him, not to think of it as killing him, but setting him free. They share a hug goodbye, and as Tails is about to do it, he sees a familiar figure standing next to him and places her hand on top of his, and it's Cosmo. The deed is done, and Tails blows up the building with his power. And then we have the season finale. It starts with Cream, and she managed to get rid of those zombies, but she's on her own. But she manages to find the building that that Tails and Sonic were at, and she manages to find Sonic's corpse. She then closes his eyes and sobs quietly as the flames consume the zombies. And then we see that Silver and Shadow managed to find another Chaos Emerald, because Shadow actually at one point explains that the reason why they need another Chaos Emerald is because the one that they had already that they got from Amy and Knuckles, it's rather weak, so they need to have another one if they're going to make it back home. But Tails is still pretty much out of it. He says that she's gone, and Silver tries to comfort him by saying that he still has him and Shadow. But of course, he does manage to calm Tails down before he burns his arm off, because Tails actually in this series has the power to, basically whenever he's angry, he takes that anger and turns it into fire. Basically, it's like his super form, just with fire abilities. So, yeah. And Silver actually remembers something. No, Shadow tells them that Tails' rage actually managed to recharge the Chaos Emeralds. So but there are also a bunch of other problems that they have right now, and Tails basically says that they're doomed. But Shadow, surprisingly, of all the characters, like, he's the one who tells them they need to stay positive. Like, despite, like, all his grumbling and whatnot, and everything that Shadow has done to Tails throughout the series, as, well, I mean, yeah, he did destroy his house, and he basically brought up Cosmo. So, yeah. It's surprisingly, after everything, he's the one who tells them that they need to stay positive. But then zombies then show up, and Shadow says that he's going to hold them off. But he falls off the bridge, and Tails wants to go and save him, but Silver uses chaos control and, well, yeah. So, but they do, Silver and Tails make it to this empty place where it doesn't look like not even the zombies, there's no zombies there, seemingly, of course. But surprise, surprise, they actually find Rouge. She is alive. And she actually has some people with her. It's this dimension's version of Silver and Shadow. And in the next part, they actually managed to meet up with Cream again. Because Rouge actually takes them to this place where there's a lot of bright lights to keep the zombies away. And I probably should have mentioned, in case if you're wondering where Blaze went, Blaze actually died while trying to fight the giant monster. Yeah. And basically but yeah, that's what happened to her. And Tails, they do manage to find Cream, but Silver actually finds a sword and he manages to kill one of the zombies with it. But Tails at one point gets injured and Cream actually shows up and she actually discovers her power, which is healing. And at first, well, Rouge kind of doesn't know what she did. And Silver suggests that she finally found her gift. So, yeah. And so while Rouge is tending to Tails, Silver asks Cream if she wants to talk about the fact that she's been living in this building all by herself. And Cream doesn't want to, but when Silver actually brings up the fact that she has healing powers, she responds that she's a freak. But he comforts her by telling her that it's natural and that he was a little freaked out by when he discovered his powers as well, and that they're her family and they will protect her, to which Cream seems to really appreciate. And Tails does at one point apologize about what happened to Shadow, because I guess it was a gut feeling since she didn't see him with the others, that he, you know. But yeah, they actually managed to blow up some of the zombies, but the other Silver and Shadow are in trouble. The other Silver gets crushed by a car, and of course, there's also the monster that they have to worry about as well. And yeah, that's what happens next. They manage to fight off some zombies and seemingly save the other Silver, but Silver ends up having to hold the monster back with his powers to keep everyone else from getting crushed, except for Cream, who manages to get on higher ground, and Silver ends up getting killed by the monster, and Rouge, and well, like in any Walking Dead zombie apocalypse series, the only way to permanently get rid of a zombie is to destroy the brain. So Rouge takes it upon herself to basically stab Silver. And I'm thinking you can know what she did. And a heartbroken Tails buries Silver and places Silver's little plushy turtle on his grave and tells him to watch over him. And the final part. Cream is now on the run from the zombies, and she sees that Rouge and the others, Shadow and Silver, as well as Tails, make it to this house where sadly the other Silver isn't going to make it either. But Sonic actually makes it, appears, and says that no, you're not real, I'm not crazy, you're not there, but everyone who has appeared so far is there. Amy, Sonic, Knuckles, even Silver and Shadow. Well, actually, Shadow does appear, but because he's the key to fixing all of this, and they see that Shadow has become a zombie, and as well, oh, and the other Silver is also there as well. Yeah, he didn't make it. But yeah, Silver manages to make it, and make it with the rest of them as well. And of course, Tails ends up killing Shadow, and he ends up and the three hedgehogs then proceed to basically what they did in Sonic 06. Sorry about that. And Tails actually, we get this scene that it's revealed shortly that it's the spiritual plane, and they're all in their super forms, and like Silver kind of freaks out that he has wings on his back for some reason. But yeah, Tails is just glad to see them again. But there is actually a way to fix all of this. Shadow they all tell Tails about what he needs to do. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I am so sorry, excuse me. So yeah, Tails, he gets told that they need to, basically what's going to happen is, at least, this is just, okay, I'm probably wrong about what happens, but they basically reset the timeline to the season 1 finale, where Rouge when they decided to go on a vacation. And basically all Tails has to do is tell Rouge no, that they're not going. And that's basically what happens. Like, apparently, I don't know if, at least, that's how well, that's actually just me just seeing it that way. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. So they reset the timeline, and Rouge, basically, that scene happens again, but Tails gets mad and blows everything up. And tells them that no, they're not going. So yeah, that's basically where the series, season 2 ends. Like, wow. Like, so yeah, this series was both hilarious but mostly emotional. And I really like that. Like, it delves into the characters more. Like, Sonic, Cream, Shadow, Tails. Like, Tails' role in this series, like, you know, it kind of, like, Sonic at one point tells him that he's become a man. That he's grown up, like, and there is a scene where he slaps, Tails is actually the one who slaps sense into Sonic, like, no, we're not giving up this easily. We've gotten this far. We're not going down without a fight now. Like, no. And also, Cream and Shadow in this were just adorable. Like I said before, like, we still have, like, that, like, innocence, that kind of childlike innocence in Cream still. Even though she... well, like, despite the fact that she's been able to hold her own and she managed to take out a bunch of zombies on her own, and she now has healing powers. And also, yeah, the scene with her and... that scene with her and Silver was amazing. Like, it was really, like, I love seeing those two, like, seemingly connect with one another. Like, Cream says when she says that she thinks that she's a freak because of her powers, like, I get the feeling that her powers may have had, then again, that's probably just me, but I feel like the powers had something to do with why Creams behaves the way she does in season 3, or why she's always been like this. I mean, aside from it being another dimensional version of her. But yeah, like... and also the fact, like, I think my heart broke a little when she once again calls Sonic Mr. Sonic. Like, there's still, like, there's still some sweetness underneath all of those guns. There's still some sweetness underneath that darkness. And also, yeah, just... and also, Tails apologizing to Cream when they find her, and of course... and when he apologizes about Shadow, and she says that you guys are my family, and I'll protect you guys. Like, it really shows how much of the group is like a family. I mean, yeah, they drive each other crazy, but at the end of the day, they still do really care about each other like actual family. Like, and even some... oh, and Rouge actually survived because of Amy. Amy actually managed to get Rouge out of there. She basically told her to just run away. And the reason why Rouge didn't get the others is because well, Rouge was actually going to be the first one that Amy and Knuckles were going to kill, and Amy managed to make sure that she got away in time. So yeah, that's the reason why that she couldn't get to the others, because if she did, then Knuckles would have probably killed her. But yeah. So yeah, and I gotta admit, I loved, like I said, I love this series. Like, it really does. It kind of felt like this Sonic version of The Walking Dead in its own right. And yeah, like, the whole secret about claiming that, like, these well-fed people are, basically it's like that dairy place in the Walking Dead games, and sorry about that. So yeah, that is, well, yeah, in the ending, you know, like, it kind of, you're all probably gonna hate me for this, but it kind of reminded me of Undertale a little bit. So yeah, because like I said, I think that they went back in time, you know, like reset the timeline. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have at the moment. I may do a follow-up on this, but yeah, like, so yeah, this was a good season, and the season finale, you know, it kind of wrapped up everything nicely. I mean, there's still season 3 though, but yeah. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!